Maybe it's. I'm trying to see what it says. Yeah, on the subtitles there for a second. We will never, ever get the intro right. And I guess we should apologize for that. But you know what? No, we're not apologizing anymore. Because if you're here long enough, you know that we never get the intro right. Because
this is who we are.
it's just who we are. It's just what we do. It's what we're about, not getting intros right. Welcome along, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely lovely Sunday. Sunday? Oh my god, today's Thursday.
Oh my god, Declan.
It's Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. Is everybody else? Is the question.
Yes.
Good. I was just testing everybody.
Oh, did we pass?
Yeah. You
Good.
did. You all passed. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're very welcome along this lovely Thursday evening to Saving Grace here with D8 Dungeon. I am Declan, the guy that does know that today is Thursday and not in fact Sunday. I'm in teacher annual leave mode, so the days are just becoming a blur of wait, what is it? So no, that's my explanation, and I will have or take no questions. I hope you've had a lovely day, or if you're in the middle of your day, I hope you're having a good day. And if not, well, you know what? I'm glad you're able to join us for some D&D. Maybe that'll cheer you up. Maybe the
or make your day worse.
Make your day worse. Yeah, look. I was just softballing them with a lovely lie there for you. A neat little lie to get us into this, and just see how we're getting on with it. You are most welcome to the latest episode or verse of Saving Grace, verse 4, The Cave Sings. I am joined tonight by Fiona as the treacherous Eludia Cinderella.
Lies.
Amber as the bare-chested Sueris.
Oh God.
And Tendai as the will be rolling death saves in about 3 minutes, Grace Stormfield. Unfortunately, Eilish is not able to join us this evening, but next Thursday, 6, as you all know anyway, dipped out on us last week mid-session.
Rude.
So rude.
So rude.
But next Thursday, we will be looking at a one-on-one session with 6 just to see what she got up to in the interim while the gang went off looking for some herbs and flowers to help with the potential outbreak of that respiratory illness that's afflicting people. Before we jump straight back into the adventure, a couple of things. First and foremost, Saving Grace is a gothic horror adjacent, but it's a gothic horror by nature, meaning we do touch on fairly dark themes, gore, and strong violence. So if that's not your cup of tea, then I just you have been warned that we don't shy away from the nasty stuff. Mostly I found out it's the food. The food is the thing apparently that I described that gets everybody really bothered.
I know what else gets us bothered.
The food or the hot dad. The hot dad that we've all Deacon is apparently our dream daddy. So you've it's just a bit of a warning for any of those of you that might find that stuff triggering or upsetting. The other thing to take note before I forget is that if you are looking to get your hands on some snazzy tabletop role-playing accessories, we have a wonderful link with the Rook and the Raven, makers of some phenomenal journals and planners for all your TTRPG needs, whether you're a player or a DM and you want to keep track of your adventures, you want to keep track of your player character stats as you move through things, notes. You can customize it to your heart's content. I have
did mine in purple
planner. We have to do the Moo, I think. Yeah, that's gonna be for my next show. I think I'm gonna keep this one for, or the next stream. We'll see, or podcast. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Who knows? Maybe when Grace dies, we can make up a new show. Resuscitating Grace. Resuscitating Grace.
Oh.
But if you want to get your hands on some of those, then do head on over to their website, The Rook and the Raven, and if you use the code D8Dungeon at the end, you get yourself a 15% discount on your goodies. And if you're whether if you're in the US or Canada, you'll get it pretty quickly because they have a warehouse there. But if you're in the UK, Europe, Ireland, well, they now have a warehouse in Ireland, so even faster shipping. So, nice. And we get a little bit of the monies like from that sale using that code, and that helps us make more content and do more things and plan more things. So we would love if you would support the Rook of the Raven and thus support us. I think I've done all my jobs. That's all my jobs.
Well done, Declan. Now you just have to run the game.
No, I have to do the other thing. That's the easy part. The running the game is the easy part. I just throw a hot topless dad at the four of you and I'm done. Describe him. He's got a chest. Oh, be still.
No, I think what set us off was he had a big scar. Yeah,
scar.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Yeah, but then you forgot about his torn off wings. So.
Oh, fuck.
Well, that's just another scar.
I'm sorry. I love how that slipped out a little bit. I'm not Deacon. I'm not.
Hey, I can't remember how to flirt. Is this how it works?
No. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Any takers in chat? Ooh.
This is suddenly becoming a very different stream.
Banned.
Gonna get banned.
Anyway, without further ado, we are going to kick things off. Sueris, are you as you witnessed the owlbear bear down on top of Eludia and Grace, you saw Eludia running for cover, and as the monster pretty much tears Grace into pieces, you see it pick her up in its jaw and throw her up into the air and just swing as if the guard was a rag doll. She hits the trunk of a tree nearby, and there's a sickening crack, and you scan the ground for any sign of your armor. And in the distance, you see the Devil's Pond and a rocky outcropping, but below you, you see your armor. And as you decide, or as you try and figure out what to do, you just see Eludia step out from behind a boulder, her longbow drawn. She fires an arrow and she kills the owlbear with one shot, straight to the head. There's a slump, and you just see Eludia walking very slowly towards Grace's unmoving body. Grace, give me a death saving throw, please.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you sound so happy to do that?
I don't know.
Use your sexy new dice, T. The blood ones.
Oh, yes.
Appropriate. That bodes well for death saves, I think.
Yes.
You know, as you do. Oh, wait. Okay. Where is... So I rolled a 12.
Okay.
Yay!
Your vision is blurry, Grace. You feel the full weight of your body. You feel the armor. You feel the searing pain in your chest and in your stomach, and you can feel the blood trickling down the sides of it. You feel it soaking into your clothes. You can feel the cold of the snow under you. You can hear the crunching of footsteps behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of hold on, and you find yourself kind of drifting in and out of consciousness in the distance, you see a figure emerging from the pond. Sueris and Eludia, what are you two doing?
Where is Suarez now? Still getting your
Still-
shit on? Still up?
Lion.
Still
Flying.
flying.
Flying? Okay. Eludia, am I close to Grace now or no?
You're about 40 feet away from her.
Okay, she's going to just run. Fuck! Fuck! And she's going to run and come to a skid, like on her knees beside Grace, and try and help her in any way she can. Grace! Grace! And slapping her face. Wake up!
As you get close to her, and you see her eyes flickering. Eludia, you see Grace's she is just covered in blood. You can give me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. 13.
As you hit her, as you slap her, like to wake up, you take in the full sight of her, and immediately you find yourself on your hands and knees in the muck and the dirt of the woodlands on your family's estate. And the stag you came across, with its guts splayed out in front of it, it heaving its dying breaths, and the noise that just gargled and caught and died in its throat as it just drowned on its own blood. And you remember the feeling of just putting your hands inside the dead stag and the warmth. And you feel the warmth of Grace's blood on your hands as you kind of grab her and start to kind of shake her.
Grace! Grace!
Can I dive in there and actually do something?
Do medical aid.
Instead of slapping me.
Suarez! What are you? Get down here! No!
No, I just want to dive straight in for Grace and just kind of shoulder. What is your name?
Eludia.
Eludia.
Eludia. I
You
can't
can also
remember how
take
to
Psycho.
say it. Just kind of shoulder her out of the way, and I will lay on hands on Grace for 10 HP.
Suarez, help her, she's dying.
Suarez, you reach out. You see your armor where you laid it, and it was folded and put into a neat little pile atop a rock, but it's been scattered as the owlbear came barreling through the woods. It must have sent it flying in its altercation with Grace, or when it first appeared. You're not sure, but you can see parts of it kind of scattered around. But your attention immediately flicks back, and you can just hear Eludia. She's still saying Grace. And it's a gentle shove. You've done this before. You've been in the room when family members have come in with somebody who's injured or in their final moments, and the hysterics that they find themselves in, and you just nudge Eludia kind of politely but forcefully out of the way. It's not a kind of a thing. Not yet.
Later.
So you just reefer in the back of the head. It's hysterical. But you just put your hands out over Grace's body, and you see her guts they haven't spilled out, but her stomach has been ripped open, and there's blood just kind of gushing out of it. You place your hands over, you feel the energy and the magic around you and the light, and Eludia, you see a faint aura of just white and golden light shimmer off of Suarez's feathers. And as you place your hands on Grace's body, the light vanishes. And Grace is cold to the touch. Grace, give me a death saving throw.
She's not moving, Suarez.
Ooh,
Do I still lose those 10 points?
15.
You do, I'm afraid.
Damn it.
Okay. Grace, you can hear you can hear Eludia, and then you see Sueris just kind of again. They're blurs. They're it's very hard. You can make out the shapes of them. Occasionally, you see like a flicker of detail. You see Sueris's steely blue eye just kind of looking down at you. So they're doing something. Something's happening, but the entire time you are looking at what is coming towards you, what has emerged out of the pond, and just walking through the tree line straight towards you. You see Thane,
Ooh.
Oh,
and he kneels down a couple of feet away from you.
jeez.
Grace, what are you doing?
Um, I'm just going to look down at myself to kind of like gesture at the ruin of my torso.
Your body is fine.
But I'm dying.
You you still haven't figured it out.
Figured what out?
And you said you were the brains of our operation. Oh, Grace. And Thane kind of just kind of on his feet, just kind of like tiptoes a little bit closer towards you.
I'm going to sit up.
What are you doing?
Getting up.
Here. Grace, what are you doing here?
Uh, I'm. We're looking for Brother Reeves.
You're playing pretend.
No, we were looking for Brother Reeves. I got attacked, and now I'm here. And you came out of the Devil's Pool.
I think, Grace, you never should have found me. You should have stayed away.
Do you know what? I agree. Finding you again ruined my life.
And he smirks. Oh, Grace. You ruined your own life. What was it you said on our wedding day? Till death do us part. Grace Stormfield.
Probably an unfortunate phrasing.
He's now just kind of inches from you. And as you've kind of set up a little bit against the tree, I had thought maybe you, of the two of us, could have carried this. And he reaches for the chain around your neck and the locket. But you can't. You
Of course.
can't do what needs to be done, Grace.
I'm not like you, Thane.
No. I shouldered that burden. I saw through what was required of me. I did what had to be done every single time, Grace. And I did that for you,
For me?
for us.
How?
As long as I did what she asked of me, you were safe.
But I didn't know you were safe. I didn't know where you were. Did you expect me to just move on with my life as if nothing had ever happened? Or did you know that the person you married would come looking for you? Saying you are not that naive.
It's funny. I thought the same of you. And yet, you gave my heart to her. And his hand reaches up towards your face.
I'm going to slap his hand away and say, "You lost the right to touch me a long time ago."
When you slap the hand away, you hear the silver chain kind of just rattle. And in front of you, you see Thane's face just begin to rot away and pull back. The skin begins to shrink. And you see the teeth decay. And then the bone starts to show. And from the top of his head, wire like hair in just wet, filthy clumps just fall down. And a veil unfurls from the front of his face. And you just see a half mangled jaw in front of you, and black ichor drips from it.
Grace is going to. Well, first of all, I'm going to try and make sound, hoping that it will alert Suarez to whatever is happening. But in my current reality, I'm going to try and like backpedal on the ground, kind of like scurrying almost like a crab to get as far away from them as possible.
As this creature just kind of manifests through Thane, Grace, you immediately start to kind of like panic and you scurry back. You try and call out, you try and alert the others, and you see Eludia kind of standing there, kind of half gawking down with this wicked curiosity scratched into her face as she watches Suarez do everything he can to stop the bleeding. Um, and as you scurry away, you see yourself. You see yourself lying there on the forest floor, blood just pooling around you. And as you scurry back, and this creature just snaps, and you can hear a bone twisting and popping out of place and then resetting, you see it just two elongated hands just claw out from a rotten grey dress, and these razor like black claws just dig into the earth. And as quickly as you scurry back, it scurries straight over
Oh,
you. And now she's bearing down on top of you. She's both her hands are dug into the earth just at the sides of your head, and she is a mere 4 inches from your face. You can feel her breath, and her breath smells like dead water. There is a heat that just boils out of her, and you feel the weight. It feels as if the weight of the ocean itself is pressing down on top of you, and you struggle to breathe. And a glob of this thick black mucus just dribbles out of her mouth. and lands on the side of your face. Grace, what are you doing?
I'm trying to find Brother Reeves. Grace is just so disgustingly stunned right now.
Why?
For my job.
It is not Reeves' heart I desire. Though, and her head snaps back 180 degrees. And she stares towards the Devil's Pond. And then the head snaps back. Though his heart is a curious one. But I'd like to see the heart of his betrothed. I had come to warn you, Grace Stormfield. And I do not do a second warning. I seek the healer's heart. Tear it from him and give it to me. I give you 3 more days.
I don't know if I'll be in any fit state to try and.
Oh, sweet Grace. That is what I'm here for. And she presses herself down on top of you. And now her lips are just an inch away from your ear. And for a moment, as she speaks, there seems to be a delay, and you can hear a scratching sound. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. 13.
You find yourself trying to not look, trying not to stare, but from the corner of your eye and the hole in the side of her face, you know what the scratching is coming from, as you see beetles trying to claw, climb, and eat their way out of her.
Ugh.
3 days, Grace. There is something peculiar about the little one's heart. Something innocent. I want you to gain his trust. I want you to have him believe in you. And at that moment, you take his heart.
Why like that?
Because that is when it is most ripe.
I'm going to shake my head very slightly.
You made a vow, Grace Stormfield. You do not get to walk it back. I gave you power. I took away the pain that was inflicted upon you by Greyline. You lay, and her head turns slowly to the tree that you were slumped against, drowning in a pool of your own blood. But I can promise you, Grace, there are fates worse than death. "3 days. Do what you must."
Grace
And-
is.
Go on. Yeah, sorry.
I'm just going to nod.
Good. And she moves away from your ear and she lingers over you, and you just see her eyes, and her eyes are a milky green. And you can just see kind of like a clear, almost clear, like broth, that kind of like just like seeping from her, like tears almost. And she leans down over you and she kisses you on the mouth.
I'm going to gag.
Gain a level.
Oh. Okay, okay.
Suarez, at that moment, you feel all of the. Sorry, you're sitting there going, "What?"
Yeah, what the fuck? I was so invested in this, and then that at the end. Scum!
Oh,
Scum!
Declan, never,
Oh my
never
God.
give.
Oh my god.
I never give levels, huh? Huh? Huh?
Mm. Mm. So unimpressed. Oh my god, I hope that kiss was gross.
You know it was.
Worth it, baby.
I think the worst part for me is between the Beatles and
Oh
the
yeah.
broth.
No.
I don't know
The
what's going to win
broth.
for me. The broth coming out of the eyes. Thanks, Declan. It's going to haunt me forever.
The hairs on my arms stood on end when you said beetles. I hate swarms of shit.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Feel free to, X something if it's not, and I'll stop. Okay, so remember our X's, and I can find a suitably other disgusting image. for you.
No, it was fine. It was fine. I
Okay.
didn't realize beetles would do that to me, but
Oh.
Lydia's going
New
to grab
fear
Swears
unlocked.
by the shoulder. Swears! Why isn't she waking up?
Grace's body suddenly, Suarez, feels warm, and that energy you poured out of yourself, you see it, and you see the wound on her guts heal.
Oh,
Um,
my God.
and you just hear, both of you, Eludia included, you just hear from Grace as she comes back to life and regains consciousness.
Grace, come on now, come on. Like,
This
Lydia knows
face-
nothing about like helping people. She's going to just try and reef Grace to her feet. Come on, oh my god.
Give her a
Swears.
minute. Give her some space. Let her breathe.
Is she okay? Is she okay?
I don't know.
I can hear you. I'm not deaf.
She's fine.
Good to see you in good form, Grace.
Would Grace have seen Eludia Leggett?
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Mm.
Just to see what you
I want to point out that when you did your wisdom save and I did mine earlier, we both got a 13. We're so in sync. Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Get me out of here.
15.
Oh.
You remember screaming Eludia's name as you saw her run. You saw her turn and run, and as you reached for your scimitar, you just saw her vanish, and then everything went black. You felt yourself being flung up, and then you feel the soreness in your body, and you just see Eludia looking down on you.
I want to punch Eludia.
Okay, give me an unarmed strike with advantage because this is a surprise.
My face, my
Is it a
beautiful
surprise? Is
face.
anyone surprised for punching Amelia?
And Suarez, you can have inspiration for that.
I already have some.
Okay, then sorry.
Oh.
That is a oh wait, no. It's 12.
Does a 12 hit? No.
No.
Eludia, you just see, like, as kind of Grace stumbles up to her feet, having kind of pulled her up, she just, without a word, takes a swing straight at you. And it's only a second or half a second, but you just manage to kind of like weave out of the way as her fist swipes past you.
Her hand
I'm
is like
just like-
automatically going to go to like the blade at her side before she catches herself. Grace, is that any way to thank me for helping you?
Thank you, you snake. You ran. I called your name and you let me get.
Grace, darling, I'm not too sure if you're aware how longbows work, but if I tried to shoot that thing when I was on top of it, I would have been on the end of its other claw right beside you. I think I had to go a little bit further in order to save you, my darling. Look at it. See the arrow there, right in its forehead? I think I did a pretty good job, didn't I?
Grace is going to actually stop and take a breath and take in the scene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do we say, Grace?
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Now, I think Suarez has all of your insides back on the inside, so perhaps shall we continue? If you're able.
Oh,
Don't stress yourself out. Don't tie yourself now, Grace. Remember your new position, the foreman.
We
have
can
to
rest if you need to.
take it easy. Exactly, Suarez. Good suggestion.
Can I go get dressed?
Little naked bird.
Aw,
Would you look at my feathers? No.
Oh.
What's the word in a brassiere?
Oh, definitely a chainmail one, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you
It
can.
is
You can go.
pickable.
And, you can
Like,
pop on your armor, Source. It's fine.
Grace is just going to look at Eludia. What happened to you?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean.
No, Grace, enlighten me.
You hate me. I hate you. Feeling is mutual.
Mhm.
You'd rather I
Mm.
die than you lift a nail to help me. So, why now do you care about my new position and about my well being?
Grace, can you imagine if I had to return to that Moffat woman and have to explain to her that myself and Suarez lost you while we were attempting to pick some flowers for lovely Mr. Deacon? I don't think I'd enjoy that very much, thank you. As much as I hate you, Grace, the last thing I want is to see you dead. I have much more fun having these chats with you every day rather than ending your life. So, are we at an understanding? I mean, if you'd rather just lay back down there, we can just leave you. But I think Reagan would like you to come back to camp. Six would too. She really likes you, Grace.
I think emotions have run very high and we have collected our flowers and we
Mm.
should just take some deep breaths and return to camp.
Mm-hmm.
Grace. Grace is gonna just look over at Suarez and just lock eyes with him and just do that. Take a deep breath. Then look back to Eludia, nod, and on their way.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
3 of you give me perception checks.
Oh.
I don't want to perceive,
You
so
must
You
I don't
must
know.
perceive it all.
I don't wanna.
That's not great.
That
11 for
is
me.
a 14 for me.
Oh no, hold on. I think I get
11 as well.
I get advantage with my natural explorer. So natural at exploring. 14.
You. Okay, so we had a 14. Was that our 9? 11?
11.
Okay. Grace and Suarez, as you kind of begin to make a return to camp, and Eludia, you watch Suarez kind of help Grace a little bit. Like she's still battered and bruised, but she's alive. And Suarez is just kind of maybe keeping her steady on her feet. As you turn to follow them, you hear something behind you coming from the Devil's Pond. Like a whistling or a humming.
How far away are we from the pond?
Only about 20 feet.
A moment, a moment, please. And she's going to not even wait. She's going to skip over. But when she gets closer to the pond, she'll slow a little bit and have her hand ready at her dagger. Brother Reeves, I hope you're decent.
Lydia, what are you doing?
I heard something, Suarez.
As you approach the pond, Lydia, something feels very strange here. The air feels strange. It's heavy and uneasy. Like it feels like dread. And it's kind of intoxicating.
Mm-hmm.
And as you approach the edge of the pond, just kind of looking around and your dagger drawn and you call out to Brother Reeves, you hear the whistling get a bit louder. And in the pond, they're floating. You see several severed limbs.
Okay, like from numerous people, or is this one person? How many hands, feet?
It appears to be a mix. You can clearly see the kind of the right thigh of what could be an orc. There's a much smaller, slender hands. They don't, the parts don't seem to fit with one person.
She'll just hold her dagger up and like twist it against the index finger of her gloved hand, and that's a sight. I've never actually been to the Devil's Pond before, Suarez, but is this normal?
Is what normal?
This? Come over now. Have a look. I think I know where the arm came from.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, I turn Grace and I around and down we go to the pond.
You immediately notice the soup.
Good soup.
Yeah.
Good soup.
Person soup. You see there's 6 different limbs. Or 6 limbs, not 6 different limbs. 6 limbs floating in the body in the pool belonging to 6 different people. The other thing you notice, Suarez, is now that you've drawn closer and there is a horrible silence from the 3 of you. You can barely hear the wind through the trees. What you do hear is a familiar song being hummed. It sounds like a tune that Brother Reeves was humming up to last week.
And that's kind of like behind us, is it?
In front of you.
Oh, and
coming from the other side of the pond.
Can myself and Grace hear it, or just Suarez?
Oh, you can still hear. You all hear it.
I just recognize it.
You recognize it, yeah, as the thing that he was humming.
And is there still that kind of feel, like that feeling of dread and all?
Mm-hmm.
Can we see anything on the other side of the pond, or is it like
the pond kind of gets swallowed by a rocky outcropping?
Okay. Lydia is going to kind of automatically tense up a little bit and pull back from the others, nearly like kind of trying to meld into the background a little bit while peering around the edges of the pond, like where she can hear this the singing coming from.
Give me an investigation check, Eludia. Grace, Suarez, is there anything that either of you are doing at this moment?
I'm going to
Grace.
look around as well, and
I just want to sort of tentatively, quietly shout for Brother Reeves.
and I'm actually going to manifest my familiar.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. As you okay, so Grace, you kind of you move a little bit slower around the you move a little slower around the edge of the pond. And as you do, you see kind of Eludia disappear further along, like she's going a lot, like she's moving slowly, or sorry, she's moving carefully, but at a pace. And you see that she has her weapon drawn, and behind you, you just hear Suarez kind of whistle out Brother Reeves' name, like, and you just hear Suarez's voice just echo and ripple across the surface of the pond. And then the whistling stops. And two things happen at this point. Eludia, as you come around the other side, the northern side of the rocky outcropping, you see that there is what looks to be like just a large hole torn in the rock face. And there's a small little stream of the pond just trickling down this deep, dark cave. And Grace, as you find yourself kind of edging around the shore of the pond, you can't help but look down into it, and you see your reflection, and then you see Thane, and you wince. And the second you wince, you feel your whole body just tense up, and a searing pain courses through you, and you just hear a voice just appear. Where am I?
The Devil's Pond.
What? And there's a small sprite in front of you. Short, blonde hair, faint little wings, and a very kind of plain looking dress, but with kind of silver threads around the edges of it. Where's Lavender? Where's my Lavender?
Who's Lavender?
I and you see her recoil in pain, and she lets out a shriek of agony as a mark is burned along her back. And then, Grace, you feel the same mark bear across your hand. And there's a burn on your right hand. And instinctively, without having to know, you can hear her thoughts. Her name is Pandora. She's been torn from the Fae domain. And she is your familiar. And she is bound to you.
I take in Pandora and I just curse because this is not what I expected to see when I was summoning a familiar. Just go hide somewhere. Can you feel anything before you do?
She just looks at you, and you can see she's just crying.
I'm sorry. I don't have time for this. I'll just just go hide. Just go hide somewhere, and I'll explain later.
She blinks and she just vanishes. You can still feel her on your hand, but and then she's gone. There's a lightness, but you know she's right in front of you, and then you feel her as she moves around you, and she just disappears into the tree line, but she's there at the corner of your mind.
Uh, I'm just going to draw. I'm going to draw my scimitars and just 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 kind of wonder what just happened to me.
Can Eludia approach? I saw the opening to a cave. Did I?
Yeah.
So, and she's gonna very tentatively just like she's not gonna step right up to it, but just kind of lean over and see if she can see anything inside.
You lean over just the edge, and you can see the cliff. It's not a drop, like it's a slow descent down into the dark.
So it's actually in the ground as opposed to like on.
Well, it's torn out of rock and ground, so this thing
Okay.
is just. But you can see the little trickle of the stream, and they're tangled against a load of just jagged rocks. You see a tunic, pale green, and a leather belt just hanging off the side of it.
No, like no body, just the clothes.
Just the clothes.
I think Reeves might have gone for a dip, and she's gonna whip up the clothes and dangle them towards the others.
Where did you find those?
Just here. Where do you think he is?
Where is here, Eludia, please?
I'm
We're trying to help him.
Over here, Sueris. And she's gonna have like as she's talking to them, she's going to with one of her hands be rifling through his clothes to see if she can find anything.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
This dirty priest
Shameless.
defo got something fun.
Shameless.
15.
Ooh.
Sueris and Grace, what's your passive perception?
9. Just close my eyes.
My
No,
passive
let's see.
perception is 12.
Okay. Neither of you see it, but as you rifle through his belongings very, very hastily, give me a roll of a d12.
Mhm.
7.
You find a small little pouch,
Mm-hmm.
and in it there's a ring
Oh.
with a pearl set inside it.
She'll pocket it and kind of come back around the outcrop, waving the clothes. Look, were they his? They're very nice.
So whereas you know straight away that they are Reeves.
So I'll kind of rush over to her and yeah, those are his. Where'd you find those?
Right there. So he's here somewhere, naked. Suarez.
Can I go have a look at wherever she's gesturing to?
Yeah, you approach where Eludia is standing and giggling, still kind of swinging the clothes around, like she's literally making a big rustling sound with them, as if they were a bell of sorts. You approach the mouth of the cave, Sueris, and you know instantly what the smell is. It's sickly sweet, and there's only more death in the cave. And as you kind of peer in and you try and get a sense of it, and you just assume that at the bottom of this cave Reeves's body is decomposing, you hear him whispering. It's an echo of a whisper, bouncing off the walls of the cave, mingling with the sound of the water churning.
Can't tell what he's saying.
No.
I will turn back to the other two and just say there is most definitely more death in this cave, and if you don't want to go in, you don't have to, but I need to go find Reeves.
Welcome.
It wouldn't be smart for us to split up.
No.
Just try not to touch anything.
Mm.
And I just kind of look directly at Eludia.
I promise to touch nothing but Brother Reeves. Let's go.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'll start slowly making my way into the cave, kind of watching out for anything
Okay.
dead.
Grace, are you able, Grace? Would you
Yes.
like a hand?
Not from you, thanks.
Oh, don't slip now.
Oh no, you'd hate that, wouldn't you?
Off you go. Go ahead. Age before beauty.
Grace,
As
I'm just gonna walk ahead.
Suarez, you're leading Grace and Eludia into the cave, and as the three of you step in across the threshold, you get about 15 feet, and immediately you start to see that the cave begins to kind of turn, like it's the way it's formed, the way it's been gutted out of the bedrock and the mountain itself. This cavern, it's a sharp. I mean, you have to hold yourself as you descend down. It's a sharp drop, or a sharp climb down rather than a drop. But as you go down, you immediately find yourselves kind of turning. And as you turn a corner that seems to head back north, the light from the mouth of the cave it's gone, and it's impossible to see what's in front of you unless you have dark vision. You are muted, sorry, Fiona.
Oh no, I'm just saying, going by Suarez's laugh, I assume. He
This
doesn't.
might be the first character I've ever played that doesn't. Like,
So-
I have a torch.
You have a torch? Okay.
I know. I want to show off.
Okay.
As Suarez
course
is
you
reaching
do.
around for his torch, Eludia is, and she's just going to cast dancing lights and fire them over to dance around Suarez's head. There you go. Aren't they lovely?
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Grace is just going to look with her dark vision.
Everybody has dark vision, except the person who normally has dark vision.
I'm just going to use my eyes to
Yeah,
see.
my
things.
bird
I don't know what
eyes.
you're
What do
doing.
my bird eyes
but-
see? Nothing, because it's dark. But you are lighting a torch, Suarez, are you?
Well, if I have the dancing lights, are
Oh, you
they
have
I
dancing
have
lights.
to. I have to
permanent?
move them though as a bonus action.
Yeah.
So you can.
Okay, well, we'll see how long this lasts before she annoys me by moving them out of my vision. But in the meantime, I will use the lights.
But they light up to, I don't know how big we are, Declan. It says 120 feet.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. And this will give you a better picture of the cave. But what color are your dancing lights?
Oh, green. Same
Okay.
colors are cool top. We
Okay.
match.
That's a cool top.
Like-
It's not a
She's
cool
so
girl.
cool.
What shade of green? Puke green?
Sage.
Puke green.
Puke sage.
Puke
But-
green.
Bogey green?
Bogey green. The
Grace immediately will never wear green ever again.
the sisterhood that we have just evolved out of this group. Phenomenal. Suarez, as you see the light just kind of get swallowed by the dark, and Grace, you see the young Ara Cochrane come to a stop a couple of feet in front of you, and Eludia in the middle. You can see the cave. It continues around this corner, and then it just continues its descent down into the dark. And as you go to move up to the front, you just see Eludia just kind of cast her hand up over her head, and with kind of a giggle, several deep green orbs that match the color of her top.
Cool top.
Cool top.
Cool top. Erupt from the tips of her fingers, and they bounce around her, and then they kind of dance around Sueris. And Sueris, your vision is like, it's that thing where you look directly into the light. This just bounces around you for a couple of seconds, and then they immediately flit out. And as you continue your descent down into the cave, you see that this is where you'd first come in. The three of you could walk side by side. I mean, you chose to walk in a line formation standard, but you could have walked shoulder to shoulder. But as you continue this descent, the cave starts to get narrower, and the ceiling starts to get smaller.
With Eludia at the front, right?
Eludia's at the front now.
Not now.
Would you back off again?
Way. No, well, I don't know. Obviously, I don't want to retcon too much, but instinctively she would like hang back
as it starts to get dark, or as it starts to get narrower.
She wants to be in the darkness.
Okay, so you
and let everyone else go ahead of her as well.
Yeah, perfect. That's fine.
Sacco.
Grace, what are you doing?
I'm going to just take in this cowardly act and just look ahead and continue moving.
Okay. I've got your back, Grace.
And Sueris, are you doing anything at this point?
No, just moving forward. Is there anything? I know you said that like it was carved out of the rocks on the surface. So does this look like it's been burrowed? Is that kind of what we're, or is it natural?
Give me a nature check.
Look at you, Mr. Smarty Bird.
Right?
Are we walking into like an Albert's den?
Oh yeah.
Do they make dens? I don't know.
It makes sense. Would it be a den or a nest or a desk?
13.
You, to kind of keep your mind occupied, and to not think about what awaits. And it's not that you don't want to think about Reeves being dead or death. That's not what frightens you. What frightens you is the unknown side of this. That what else might be, or what other things could be happening. You kind of find yourself kind of looking at the rocks and the cave itself, and it did look quite fascinating, like, because the caves back at camp and the network, and you haven't done a lot of venturing into them unless you were called for as a healer to go in where they couldn't get somebody out, or to offer respite to somebody who was trapped. You didn't really venture too far into them, but they were all man-made. They had been blasted open. They'd been dug open. At first, this looks natural. This looks just like this is just a natural cave that, over time, there might have been a lot more water here, and it just carved its way down, and down the mountain, possibly. But then there's parts of it that just look a little odd, look a little off, and you stop for a moment. And you find yourself drawn to a part of the wall. And as Eludia's lights continue to descend down, what's drawing you is how the light bounces off this section. A lot of the light refracts and reflects a little bit in the way that you would see it off of wet stone. The light just kind of maybe catching the edge of that. This doesn't. This looks off. This looks strange. And then something rattles at your feet.
Ooh. Okay, I look down.
There's a rather large femur bone.
Human?
Not big enough Or sorry, not too big to be human.
Too big. Is that the only bone in the vicinity that I can see?
Not once you start looking.
Oh.
And there's more.
Okay.
Have we kind of stalled at the moment with Suarez? You
You
were at the
yeah,
front,
we'll say you
weren't
all heard the rattle, and Eludie, you've come upon him, and Grace, you've stopped when you heard the rattling behind you.
Ooh, what do we have here?
And so, whereas your eyes are drawn back up to the wall,
Can I go investigate that chunk of wall?
you can give me an investigation check. What are the rest of you doing?
How big is the area that we're stopped in now, Declan?
You can now put your hand out either side and touch the walls.
Okay. Well, I guess if these bones are on the ground, Eludia is going to hunker down and poke at them with her dagger. Ooh, and kind of roll them over and flick them around, see if she can find anything in the dirt around them.
Okay.
Got a 12 on investigation.
As Eludia, as you kind of bend down, you start kind of poking at the bones and stuff like that, and you see that some of the bones still have like flesh meat on them.
And do they look like they were kind of torn or removed neatly? Like
no,
they've been...
they look like they've been savaged. Like they literally look like they've been chewed.
Her voice will like drop low, unusually for her. I think there might be something in here with us.
And it just echoes up through the cave. And Suarez, your eyes make out what's on the wall. And it is thick grey webbing.
Oh no!
I think Eludia might be right. And I just kind of gesture at them.
You think? Oh. She'll immediately scan for how many exits are from this particular section of the cave that we're in. Like, obviously, where we came from, is there only one tunnel continuing on?
Yeah.
Her eyes will dart straight to that and see what she can see in the darkness down there.
You stare down below. The darkness just continues on, but you can still hear the whistling.
How far can you move your lights?
Let me have a go. 60 feet every turn. I don't know how you'd count that, Declan, but 60 feet at a go.
You can move them if you want the 60 feet down, but what happens when you do that is you see that you've been traveling down the cave now for some time. And like I said, you went down and then the cave kind of cornered round and it continued its descent. But as you cast the green orbs down this tunnel, they come to an edge. And the orbs as they were have lit up the entire tunnel. But this time the light goes on beyond them, as if they're opening up onto something. And you just hear guests. Come in. Come in.
Do we recognize the voice, any of us?
Suarez does. As Brother Reeves beckons you.
Is he naked? This will change how I respond. I need to know.
You have to go down to find out.
So we've only heard him, we haven't seen him yet.
You haven't seen
him.
him.
Don't know who he is.
Yeah. No, you know who he is, but you haven't had any dealings with him.
Okay.
You only deal with Reeves if you were injured or sick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So where is? What's he doing in here?
Brother Reeves, are you okay?
Eludia's gonna pull her bow out and knock an arrow in that bad boy and hold it down by her side.
I'm going to do the same with my crossbow because there's no way I'm descending into wherever that is.
Copycat.
Can I just give Eludia the finger?
Do you want to keep that finger?
I'm like, I will make you choke on it.
For once, she will not retort. She's gonna be focused on Reeves.
Grace and Eludia, you draw your weapons. Sueris, you hear Reeves continue to whistle that same song he was humming.
Is he coming closer to us, Jacqueline, or
Nope,
staying where he
it's
is?
stayed, it's not gotten any closer.
Sueris, I do not like this. Shall we go back and report to Reagan and let someone else come and retrieve the lovely brother?
Is there anybody else in that camp capable?
My pride says no, but I would rather not be here right now.
Sueris? Sueris, you got my letters. You've come then? You were to attend? Well, don't wait out in the hall any longer, boy. Please, come on.
Reeves, I think you're confused.
Shh. No. It's fine, my lady. It's fine. He's family.
Sueris, he's calling you. Maybe go down and have a quick look.
Reeves, what's going on down there?
Sueris, you... Why are you dawdling? Please, you'll catch your death in the hall. And there's things to be done. Hurry, boy, hurry.
Ludi's actually going to just like side-eye to Grace. Not in an arky way, but in a like, what the fuck is going on way.
Sueris, we either need to leave or we need to find out what is happening down there.
I'm trying to ask.
It doesn't seem to be working.
Why don't you ask? Why don't you ask Brother Reeves to come out to us?
Ah! How steep of a decline is it?
It's actually less. It's so where Eludia sent the dancing lights down. It's the same descent that you've been doing the entire time.
Okay, so it's
but
not
at
like
the
a
bottom-
drop.
No, but at the bottom that it's leveling out.
Reeves, can you come out to me?
Sueris, I'm in the middle of surgery.
Oh no.
Now, I won't stand for this any longer. You're here to learn. So come along. I have important business today, and quite frankly, you are being a bit bothersome.
Eludi's hand's going to lash out and just grasp Sueris's arm. Not looking at him. She's still looking dead down.
Assist me, lad.
Something's not right, Sueris.
What if he's hurt?
I don't care right now. Go check if you want to.
I'm gonna light a torch and drop down.
You see Sueris reach into, would it be fair to say kind of nervously?
Yeah.
You both see him kind of reach into the knapsack on his back, and just draw a torch out from it. He cracks the flint, two flint stones against each other, and sparks illuminate from it, and the cave is lit up. And where you are, you can see that there are just patches of the walls just lined in that thick grey webbing. But it's stone. It's wet, mossy stone all the way on the inside, and it's a kind of a yellowish grey moss that clings to the walls. And then you see Sueris continue his descent, or begin his descent down towards where Reeves' voice is coming from.
Can I approach the web that was in the section that we were in before we dropped down and just see, like, do I recognize what it's from exactly? Like, is this a normal spider or a giant spider or something else entirely?
You can give me a nature check.
Okay. 14.
It's definitely a larger spider, but the web is quite old.
Okay. I'm not going to share that with Grace, but whatever.
Oh wow! Of course, of course.
Just kind of nod. She'll gesture with her head to follow after Sueris to Grace. Well, go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead suspiciously.
Grace, you clamber over the edge of the drop, and it's not a massive drop down, but it's you kind of land with a heavy kind of thud, and you can feel the ground and the gravel beneath your boots. And you just see a couple of feet in front of you, Sueris, and you're not sure if it's the young man's nerves or the air drifting through the cave, but the light from the flame is flickering. It seems to be shaking itself.
And I'm going to reach out a hand and just like gently put it on his back to kind of steady him.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to comfort you.
No, everything's okay.
Elodie is not dropping down yet. She's staying at the top.
Yeah. Shit, that was Sueris.
No.
Fried chicken for dinner.
Oh.
You get to the edge of the lights that Alulia has cast down. And here, Grace and Sueris, you see that this narrow passageway opens up into a much larger cavern. You can see straight up, and it's pitch dark. The ceiling is swallowed into darkness, and about 60 feet in front of you, you see Reeves standing there next to a stack of bodies. He's holding a very sharp stone, and he's completely and totally naked and covered in blood.
Elodie would like that.
Of course.
Eludia comes running.
Pushes Grace and Sueris out of the way.
I saw it first.
Love Island, Love Cave. No, she's still not moving. She's gonna. Can I still see them, or have they rounded like that corner now?
You can see them both just at the edge of the passageway under your lights.
Well,
without going any deeper, I'm just going to say, "Okay, Reeves, I'm here."
My lady utters only a whisper. Such sweet words, I long to kiss her. My lady waits for me in the deep below. I know in my heart she wants me to go. And he turns his back on the pair of you, and he just jams the rock in his hand into a body.
I'm just going to look to Eris and just kind of like vaguely gesture of the cave back out.
Grace! Grace!
Get down here.
Oh.
You really want to see this. There's so many. There are so many bodies, and it's disgusting. You'd love it.
You don't tell me what I love, but as she's saying that, she's gracefully clambering down. You don't tell me what I like, Grace.
I know you, baby.
Yeah, but she saw like Grace kind of like threw herself down there. She's gonna do it gracefully.
Yeah, Eludia, you come upon the same scene as I described, the large cavern, the ceiling overhead disappearing into darkness, the very naked Brother Reeves standing there, and you see that his long black navy hair clings to his back, like it's just kind of hanging below his shoulder blades. He's squatted down and he's just hacking into something.
Suarez, you never told me Brother Reeves was like this.
Ludia, please, he's not well.
Six is gonna be so jealous.
Can I very slowly and very, not quietly because I don't want to scare him, can I just very slowly approach him? Maybe like just talking as I come up to him. Just come, Brother Reeves, it's time to return to the camp.
Suarez, what are you doing here, lad? Have you come to assist? And he turns around and you see that in his hand he's holding the upper torso of a young man.
Is there anyone that we like? Do these bodies have heads, Declan? Any of them?
Some do.
Do
They look familiar?
Yeah. Do we immediately recognize any of them? No.
As some
No.
of the missing people.
No.
Okay.
As Suarez is approaching him, can I have a little walk around the room?
You may.
But keeping like she's wary of Reeves, so she would keep away from him. But she just wants to have a little wander around.
Grace, what do you? Yeah.
I'm going to get away from the entrance to the cave because I'm very aware of my back not being defended, and I'm going to keep my back to the wall while I start slowly circling around to see what Reeves is at.
Suarez, you've come to me on this most blessed of days. Oh, lad. And he takes your hands in his, and he is stone cold to the touch.
Oh.
Like you feel sweat, and you can the stench of sweat and blood off of him. He looks, it's only been a couple of days since he's gone, but his skin looks deathly, sickly pale. His eyes have sunk into the back of his head, and where there was a sharpness to the color of the yellow in his eyes, there's now a dull look. But he's smiling at you, Suarez, and he takes your hand in his, and he clasps it very tightly, and he's kind of put the jagged piece of rock into yours. She's coming, lad. Today. She's promised me. My lady, my grey lady.
Ooh.
So many weddings, very exciting.
Oh, no, I'm a romantic at heart. Now kick that body out of the way. Eludia, as you hear this, as you hear Reeves blabbering on about his wedding day, you kind of meander around the pair and kind of get a closer look, and you see that there's piles of clothes and armor thrown in a corner, some covered in blood. Obviously, they belong to the corpses that are lying there, mangled and ripped up, and they're just, the corpses are put in a pile. That they're not laying out like graves
Yeah.
or like that. They're just landed into a pile. And as you move kind of further in, and you can kind of just out of the corner of your eye, because you're keeping an eye on Grace as much as you're keeping an eye on everything else, you see that she's also kind of stepping into the room, but her back is to the wall. You feel like the ground feels like it's trembling. Like there's a murmur to the ground.
She'll kind of like crouch a little bit to lower her center of gravity. Can I see? Is there like, does it feel like it's like an earthquake shaking the ground, or does it feel like there's something heavy?
No, this is just like it you're not sure what's causing it. It's not a violent shake, it's not a quick shake, it's just like a constant like
Tremor. Is
tremor.
it like a constant
Okay.
tremor? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And without going further into the cave, that's all both of you can kind of see from your vantage point.
So we're still just in this gigantic cavern. There's no
Yeah.
other like exits or tunnels that we can see
Not
so
that you can
far.
see.
No.
No. You all of you can hear water at the far end.
Okay. If Six was here, Six would go to the pile of bodies. I want to go to the pile of goodies and see if there's anything in the pile of like armor and weapons, anything that I might like.
Okay, Eludia, you're doing that. Grace?
I'm going to skirt around the bodies to see if I could recognize anybody.
Okay.
Um,
And Sueris, what are you doing?
Does what he's talking about make any sense to me? Like, is this a memory that's replaying? Is this or that I would know?
You don't know a whole pile
Sure.
about Brother Reeves. Like he
Yeah.
kind of kept himself. He was a very quiet man. Like he didn't really say a whole pile when you worked. He talked about the job. He talked about the patient. He talked about the affliction or the wound or the injury. Got your opinion on bits and pieces. You didn't swap personal stories. He did.
Yeah.
You did talk philosophy and stuff like that, but he never mentioned a wife, a fiance, a partner, a husband. He didn't mention anything of a partner.
Okay.
He wasn't that sort.
So I'm just gonna look at him and kind of smile a little bit and say, "She is. You're right. This is the big day. We need to get you cleaned up for her," and try to very gently sort of lead him back to the mouth of the cave.
No. This is how I must offer myself to my silver queen, Sueris. She must see me for what I am, the pure specimen. And then his eyes snap towards Yulia. Get away from that!
To me?
Yeah.
So he screamed at me.
Yeah.
Like with rage or
yeah. Furious.
Okay,
and he's fraught, like you can see spit collecting at the kind of the corners of his mouth.
Yeah, she would have been like focused on this, seeing if there's anything, and when she hears him scream, she's gonna freeze. Oh, of course, Brother Reeves, I was just tidying up.
She's coming. And he just kind of he brings his arms up and he lets go of your hand, Sueris, and he starts to walk towards you, Grace and Eludia. My lady. My queen. And he just holds his hands out, stretched by his sides, and he looks up. And all of you see the roof of the cave light up with 100 red eyes.
Oh,
and this form drops from the ceiling as a large silver giant spider matriarch falls straight down, her jaws opening up. She rips Reeves in half. And then she immediately scuttles around the room, screaming. You hear a hissing sound. It sounds like the wind blowing through 1,000 trees that have caught on fire as her whole body shakes and vibrates and she hisses. And all the eyes fix on the three of you.
Oh!
Roll for initiative
Ah!
after we come back from a break.
Ah!
My future husband! You bitch! Oh my god!
We'll see you. So grab a drink, hydrate, stretch, go pee, turn off your mic if you're going to do that. And in fact, thank you so much for joining us along. I hope you were suitably unnerved at the very least.
Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
And we will see you in a couple of minutes. And we're back. I think we're back. We should be back now. I think we're back. We're gonna get this right. One time we're gonna get this right, and it's gonna be perfect, and it's gonna be amazing. Choirs of angels will sing. Oh, we did. We actually got it right. I just clocked it there on stream. I just had to take a look. We did get it right, but I messed it up with a crappy intro. Damn it! I must trust my producer. Welcome back to the second half of verse 4, The Cave Sings, where we left Grace, Eludia, and Sueris in a cavern with the Silver Queen, a giant spider queen, having devoured her husband, Brother Reeves, who appeared to be luring people into a trap where he was preparing a feast for his queen. It just so happens that he was the appetizer before the wedding. Those pre-wedding nerves, you always need a bit of a snack. So you eat the groom. Can everybody give me their initiative rolls, please?
I rolled an 18.
18 for Grace.
21.
Sueris on a 21. Fast little birdie boy.
She's my friend.
With my +5 initiative, I still rolled lower than the other two. I got 17.
Okay, and our Silver Queen has 8. Sueris, you see this. You see as she lands, and when she does, you see that she actually breaks part of her own jaw as she rips into Reeves. She snarls and hisses. You're not sure what blood is hers and what blood is Reeves, and you just see that her front legs just scramble him into the front of her mouth. He doesn't flail; he's dead instantly. But she just continues to mash and chew and just tear at his body. And then her eyes, you see them. There's hundreds on the front of her face, and the eyes just kind of flit in all directions.
Oh my god!
And you feel them on you, Sueris. Grace, you see them looking at you, and Eludia, you feel them on you. You feel her eyes look through you, and she just salivates out her maw. And Sueris, she hisses at you. It's your action.
Oh no! Sueris is right on top of her, isn't he?
Very close to her.
Can I? Okay, so she is close enough to hit melee.
You can move and hit her.
How big is she actually? Like, what are we? Like, can I reach the top of her? Can I reach her head? Like, what's?
You can reach her head. Like, you'd have to climb up on top of her. She's how do I try to describe her in terms of size? Like, she's
like
giant.
Elephant-sized.
Is she what?
Elephant-sized, or like?
She's about 4 elephants.
Oh my god.
Yeah. She's large.
Oh,
okay.
Fuck. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna get sick. This is disgusting.
Of all the things you've said. Yes, disgusting.
A 4 elephant-sized spider is what does.
Gross.
Okay, so can I just take my halberd sort of up underneath her?
Okay.
For like a jab. Yeah, please. 16 to hit.
That hits.
4 damage.
For 4 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Instantly, as you see her just crash down top and eat Reeves, you fling your halberd from around your shoulders, clutch it in both hands. You charge and strike upwards, and you catch her right under the fat of her neck, and you feel the halberd slice straight through it. And there's actually a horrible scratching sound as the blade meets the spines on her body. Like it's metal against metal almost. And then you just see this green ooze just drip out of her. She kind of winces a little bit in pain.
Just a little bit.
Bonus action.
Oh.
No. No. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh wait, I lied. I will cast Sanctuary on Grace. So
Okay.
any creature who targets her with an attack or harmful spell must first make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Um, as you charge in, and you get up close to the spider and her head and the eyes, and you see that several of them are as many of them are looking at you. The others are looking at Grace, and uh, pulling the halberd back, you turn half defensively, and you force magic from you. And Grace, you feel white light just whip around you. Uh, and there's a connection between you and Sueris as he casts Sanctuary.
Oh.
It is your action, Grace.
Perfect. I am going to attack with my crossbow. That's a 19 to hit. Oh, sorry, that's 21.
That hits.
Perfect. And 8
Damage.
damage. Yeah.
Um, you just kind of crouching down on, like half crouching down onto one knee. You bring your crossbow up across your right arm, Grace, just to steady it, and you fire. The bolt just shoots straight out of it, and one of them hits her straight into the face, and there's a pop as several of her
Ooh.
eyes just explode from the impact. And some of it splatters across you, Sueris, and you see her. One of her legs instinctively comes up and just starts to scratch
Oh.
at the bolt, and there's a rattling sound as she wrenches it free with her hooked claw.
Fuck.
Bonus action.
Ooh. Great. I'm just gonna go. Ooh. And I'm going to use. I have a question. What size is she?
Large.
Large.
In D&D terms.
Okay, perfect. So I want to
Your
try.
camera's frozen as well, to you, by the way.
Oh, yep. No worries. I got it. So I'm going to cast Blood Curse of Binding
Okay.
on the
Illudia.
lovely bride.
And what's the? Is there a DC?
There's a DC of 12.
DC of 12. Strength. 11. I've never like. I mean, great. I'm delighted, but it's always frustrating when it's just one off. Meets it, beats it. One less than it doesn't beat it.
Suddenly she explodes with millions of spider babies.
No,
all over
no,
Grace.
no.
Yeah, Grace, you as quickly as the as you see her kind of flick the crossbow bolt out, you as you go to load your second one, you holding the bolt in your hand, you see the mark that's burned there for a second, and you feel that sprite, that creature. She's there. She's at the edges of the hallway, kind of watching, and you can feel her fear, and it's beginning to sort of twist your own emotions. And you just press your thumb down into the tip of the crossbow bolt, and you break the skin. And as blood trickles down your hand, it just floats up in front of you, and it flicks towards the Spider Queen.
Ooh.
Parts of her are covered in it, and immediately Illudia and Sueris, you see the Queen buckle, like her legs buckle underneath her, as the curse, the blood curse of binding, takes hold.
And on that, I'm going to take an action surge.
Oh, okay. Work away. Shooting again.
Shoot again. That is a 60. Sorry, no, that's a 19 to hit
Yep, 19 hits.
and a 6 damage.
Okay. This time when you fire the crossbow bolt, you don't get her directly into the eye, Grace. You kind of catch her at the side of the head, and where her jaw had kind of broken when she landed, you've now hit part of that. And inside her mouth, you do see the mashed, mangled face of Reeves, just his dead eyes looking out at you.
Ooh.
Bonus action, or can you take a bonus? Yeah, you can take a bonus action with an action search.
I'm going to move out of range. Like I'm going to move back a bit, but also kind of back up Suarez.
Okay, you kind of as you kind of take a movement back, you're kind of doing it to kind of coast around Suarez, and you see Grace just kind of stepping into your area where you are, Suarez, with your halberd, and there's a with the halberd you have a bit of a reach. Grace has kind of come in and she's now put a hand kind of in front of you protectively, trying to back you away from it.
Oh,
Eludia.
I ship them. Grace was gonna get right in there. Eludia is doing the exact fucking opposite. She's gonna drop concentration on dancing lights, saw Suarez, and she's gonna use her full movement, which is 30 feet, but because of my Dread Ambusher, I get an extra 10 feet at the start of my first turn of each combat. She's going to use that 40 feet of movement to back the fuck out. Because I drop my lights, I've got Umbral Sight, so anything that relies on dark vision cannot see me in darkness. I'm invisible now.
Jesus.
Nice. That's scary.
So she's moving all the way back. She's going to bonus action Hunter's Mark this bitch, and she's going to attack it. That is 19 to hit.
19 hits.
I'm rolling my Nullra dice for damage. That is wrong. 9 damage.
Okay.
Plus my Hunter's Mark, which I can't remember. I think it's a D6. An extra D6. 6.
Ooh.
Nice.
So 15 damage. And then I want to use my other part of my Dread Ambusher. Oh, it lets me make another attack action on my turn, and an extra D8, 1d8 on top of that if it hits.
My God.
So,
sure.
I'll try. It might not hit. 12.
I'll have James watch back on the tapes to make sure you did all that right, by the way.
19 again to hit.
19 hits, yeah.
So I'm going to do my... so I assume it's my base damage plus the extra D8. So I'm going to roll my first D8 of damage, which is a 3, plus another D8 of damage, which is a 4. That's 7, plus my Hunter's Mark. Do I get to use that again? It says, until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 to the target whenever you hit it with a weapon attack.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that ruling. It doesn't say per turn, so that's fine.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 plus whatever my first damage was that I can't remember.
Jesus.
And she would want to aim. She was initially going to want to take out the eyes, but she saw Grace and Suarez going for the eyes. She wants to go for one of the leg joints.
Okay. Grace, as you move into kind of stand by and kind of guard Suarez a little bit, you're pulling him back as much as you can now, but you just hear footsteps slapping against stone, and both you and Suarez look to your left and you just see Eludia running for the passageway you came in, and as she does, she waves, and then the lights blink out, and Suarez, you are in the dark. You see the faint shimmer of the queen's silver hairs on her legs and her torso and her thorax, or whatever spiders have. I don't like to look up spider biology. It's disgusting. And you feel Grace standing next to you. Grace, you see Eludia, and as you kind of turn to sneer, you see that the drow has kind of crouched down. She's drawn her longbow, and at first it feels like the arrow is pointed at you. And you just see her slowly shifted away, and the arrow looses, and it spins through the air with a whistle. And the Spider Queen is struck on the left leg that clawed at the crossbow bolt that you shot at her.
Mhm.
And there's a second sharp whistle that cuts through the air, and there's a scream and a hiss as all the hairs on her body, the Spider Queen's body, just vibrate viciously. And with that, it is her turn. And immediately, she's going to, well, she can't move. So, I think with the Blood Maledict, it's at the end of my turn, the Curse of Binding. Until the end of your,
I
no, it's the end of
forgot
your
that-
next turn, yeah.
Mhm.
Or swoop is here, I cannot. And you're with, okay, what's my reach? I don't think it's more than 5 feet. Nope, it's not. She begins to thrash around the room violently. And she's struggling against this. And Grace, you see the blood on her. You see it in her veins coursing through her. It is like ice. It has become a prison that she is struggling against. It is her own chains holding her in place, but her body continues to shake, and you feel the ground beneath you shaking violently. And overhead, you can hear things kind of cracking and crumbling around, and then immediately all eyes flick to the passageway at Eludia, and you just see the queen's back legs lift slightly as her body
No.
arches upwards, and she shoots
Can
web.
she see me?
She's got blind sight.
Fuck!
Oh, you thought you were being smart.
I did T.
That's 15 to hit.
Yes! Fuck!
Hits.
Oh,
Yeah.
You are struck with this
Shit.
thick, hot clump and clot of web. And as it hits you, you feel it slam your whole body into the rocks just behind you. You kind of, with all the adrenaline kind of coursing through you, you tensed up a little bit. But as it hits you, you take 1 bludgeoning damage, Eludia, as your body slams into the rock, and you find yourself completely stuck to the rock face. You are restrained.
Shit. She's gonna be in shock because she thought she was.
If you
She
think
was
that's
hidden.
shocking,
No,
Oh,
lair action. Everybody make
Oh.
a dex saving throw,
Oh,
except
assume-
Eludia.
Look at you laughing. I fucking hate when he does that.
I didn't laugh.
You did. Look at the smile on your face.
I got
Here's me
13.
going, "Ooh, I've done all this stuff. I'm really cool. Nothing's gonna touch me."
That'll teach you to learn and study your character. Okay, dex saves, please.
14.
I got 13.
Shit.
Okay. Sueris and Grace, you hear the rattling, and then you can hear, well, all of you hear the rattling, and then you see pebbles and stones fall from the ceiling, and then at the far end of the room, a large stalactite just collapses and shatters violently against the rock as the Spider Queen begins to shake violently, knocking around the room, pinned to the floor. She's shaking it as much as she possibly can, and a huge cocoon just falls from the ceiling, and Grace, you shove Sueris out of the way just in time as it explodes, and rotten flesh and bile just splats on the ground, and you see thousands of white, red-eyed spiders just skittle out of it and just flick up along the Spider Queen's body and across the floors, and begin to even climb the mountain of flesh and corpses that Reeves had begun to build for his queen. At that same time, a chunk of rock comes free over the passageway. Eludia, take 11 bludgeoning damage as you are struck.
So I don't even get to roll at disadvantage. It's just I don't get to roll at all.
No, you're fully
Fuck.
restrained. So
11.
11 bludgeoning damage, please.
Okay. Shit.
And Suarez, it's your action.
Okay.
Actually, and to be fair with that, she also takes damage because she's not able to dodge because of the blood maledict. So I'm gonna rat at myself.
Oh my god, I was so excited at the start of this. I was like, we're doing fucking great.
That was your first mistake.
Getting cocky. You never get cocky in a Declan battle.
No, just always think I'm gonna die. Today's my day.
Come for me, death. I await you.
Embrace me.
Sorry, Source.
No, you're fine. So I'm going to use my Channel Divinity and Sacred Weapon. So I cast Sacred Weapon on my halberd, which means for 1 minute it gives me a bright light for 20 feet and a dim light for 20 feet. And it ends if I fall unconscious or if I drop the weapon. And that's all I can do this turn, but I need to see this thing to stab it. So
sorry, baby.
Thanks for that.
Trying to get a sense of your bearings around you, and you felt Grace shove you, and then between you something splat, and again both you and Grace are covered in this mucus that exploded from the cocoon. You grip your halberd and just bring it up overhead and just give it a spin, and immediately the room lights up as the halberd glows with a radiant yellow and white light, casting it out in front of you, and you can see the Spider Queen. You can see all of the smaller spiders crawling all over her. And you see Grace just kind of 10 feet, and you see the mess in front of you that fell from the ceiling. The walls in the cavern are still shaking. To your far left at the passageway, about 40 feet, you see Eludia lying there.
Sorry, Declan, I got hit twice, didn't I?
No.
No, I took 1 damage and
one
then it was
damage,
11.
and then
I just need I need to do my concentration saves for Hunter's Mark. The first one was a 13. Oh, second one was only a 3, so Hunter's Mark is gone now.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. We all have a self-rat.
Please don't hit me next. I rat it on myself.
I rat it on myself too. You get nothing here. Nothing. Grace.
I'm going to cast Witch Bolt, which is an 18 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
And damage is 12.
Ooh.
Okay. And as you cast this, you just kind of blue and white lightning kind of just forks around the tips of your fingers and between your hands, and just letting the crossbow fall to your side. Suarez, you see Grace just cast her hand out as lightning crackles from her right hand and just lashes out at the Spider Queen, her whole body convulsing in agony. Bonus action, Grace.
For my bonus action, I'm just going to say to Suarez, get Eludia.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and disengage.
You can't without taking. Can you take a disengage? Actually, don't think you can.
Count as
No, I can't.
disengaging if she's bound.
She's not anymore.
Not bound anymore.
Oh,
It
okay.
drops.
So yeah,
Hunter's Mark drops.
if you move now at this point, you will take an attack of opportunity.
Wait, but I haven't ended my turn yet.
Okay.
So technically, she can't move.
Yeah. So you can do a bonus action. Oh, you're gonna move and then I get you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll move and then.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, sorry.
Drop that.
You tell Suarez to get to Eludia. Suarez just gives you a nod, and then you move around the Spider Queen, trying to draw her attention. The lightning still forking between the two of you. Illudia.
Ooh, she can feel her heart like thumping in her chest because she keeps like looking to the side, because where Six would normally be to heal her, to help her get out of this mess, and she's not there. So she can feel that slight tinge of fear that she hates rising in her, and she needs to get out of here. She's going to try and get out of the web. I don't know if she is able to like reach her dagger to help her, or if she's completely restrained and she just has to basically whip herself out of it. She would try and go for her dagger to help her cut faster if she could.
You can't, but you can make a strength saving throw to try and get through it.
She's so strong. I miss
Good.
Nora.
Are my characters interchangeable midstream?
I got a 14.
That's enough.
Is it?
Yeah, that's enough.
Oh,
Still a lucky day.
You, just biting back on the fear and the hate, and just thinking of Six and wanting to get out of here, and to just get away from all of this, and recover and heal, and then do whatever needs to be fucking done afterwards. Illudia, you actually bite into your lip, like you bite through the skin of your lip, and as you do, you feel just the adrenaline course through your body, and you pull as much as your shoulder is throbbing in pain where you were struck by a chunk of rock that fell from the ceiling. You pull yourself through the webbing. It rips. Clumps of it are still stuck to you, your clothes. You can feel it on you, but you fall to your hands and knees. You look up. You have a bonus action if there's anything you want to do.
Bonus action. How close am I to the exit?
You're right at it.
Oh, she's gonna look to the exit, and her instinct is to run, and she does take a tentative step towards it. But then she's gonna look back and see that fucking giant spider on top of Sueris and Grace. Sueris, not so much. Grace, Reagan's words are in her head that she's not allowed to die yet. As much as she wants to run, she just, she balls her hands into a fist and stops, turns to it, and she is going to cast Ensnaring Strike. She's going to attempt to cast Ensnaring Strike because I don't think it's going to work. They have to succeed on a strength saving throw
now,
of 12.
Let me just look up Ensnaring Strike first, because is that not cast on a weapon? Is that not one of the
Oh, no,
next
you
time
are
you hit a
right.
creature,
I
yeah.
can cast it, but then it says the next time I hit a
Yes.
creature with a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do that. I'm going to cast it. Can I do that? And basically on my next turn, if I use it, it
Yep.
lasts for a minute.
Yep, you can. That's totally
Okay.
fine.
So-
Yeah, you with your fists kind of balled up, you reach for your quiver and you grab a bundle of the arrows and you squeeze them tight, and you feel pain course through you as little thorns and barbs just burst from the wood of the arrows and stick and catch in your hands, and the pain steadies you as you cast Ensnaring Strike.
She's going to step back with whatever movement she has left and kind of half enter the tunnel for a bit of cover if
Okay.
she can,
Yep, can do.
and just whistle at the others and gesture towards the exit.
Okay, at this point, the Grace, you see the malediction, the curse of binding, just you see the blood just fade and just turn to dust around her. Those bindings that are lashed in place are gone, and immediately she lifts her body up where she can, and she turns violently, and she snaps straight out at you with her teeth, and I'm assuming that a 10 doesn't hit.
Nope.
Okay. And
Don't smile at him, T. Don't. You'll incur his wrath.
No, I was
That's
just smiling
the
at
thing.
your comment. I was smiling at your comment. You missed us dying.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's a thing. It's proven, scientifically proven. Don't smile on stream if I've done something stupid. You will incur my wrath. If not now, in future games. As she turns to snap, like her whole body swings at the same time, a sort of a tendril of web that hangs from her back just swings forward, and you see that there is just a ball of rock and debris and bones bound into it, and she swings it straight backwards at you, Sueris, for a 14. You bring the halberd up as she lashes out with this almost like a ball on a chain. As she lashes you with this, you bring the halberd up, and it bounces straight off it. You feel the pain just course through your arms where you hold it defensively, but it vibrates and courses through you. She rears back up on her back legs, and as she does, she brings her full force down on the room. And again, everybody give me Dex saving throws except Eludia this time. You're beating a 13.
21.
Okay.
Come on, birdie boy. You're muted, Amber.
Tweet-two.
She doesn't look happy.
No, not at all.
Still muted.
10.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
No.
So as you bring the halberd up and you see her come straight down, you find yourself kind of catching a breath and just kind of trying to steady yourself. And again, it's not the fear of dying that is getting to you. There is something else. That feeling of dread has not lifted. And you are frightened, yes. You are terrified of this thing in front of you. But that is not the source. And as you just hear Grace scream out your name, you look at her and it's too late, as just a second cocoon falls from the ceiling and it just lands straight on top of you and you're crushed beneath it. Take 10 bludgeoning damage.
No.
I feel like I got Nickelodeon slimed.
You did. Katy Perry style. You can't breathe.
Oh.
And that's the most horrifying thing I've said on this stream today.
My eyes, the image, I can't get out of it. Oh.
It's your action, Sueris.
Fuck.
Sorry. It's not your action.
Okay.
As it is in a second. As she does this, she immediately darts towards you, Grace.
Of course.
Just her eyes are locked on you, and she literally skittles across the floor violently quick. And you can hear the claws, the hooks at the ends of her legs scratch and tear at the stone. And just as she bears down on top of you with her fangs, her legs go up on the wall and she begins to skittle upwards.
Oh.
Oh.
You have attack of opportunity. Actually, both of you would.
I was gonna say, if she's running away from me.
Yeah.
She's gonna drop her babies on you.
Ugh.
Yeah.
See you later. Definitely gone then.
You can both make attacks of opportunity.
I am going to attack with my scimitars. Sorry. That is a 14 to hit.
14 won't hit.
Ah, god damn it. Yeah. For
I'm
my
going
bow.
to use my
Come on,
halberd.
Sarah.
And can I add something to this? So it's a move, or do I have to wait till my action?
What's the thing you're adding?
Divine Smite.
Is that? Let me have a look. After this, you need James on stream. James should be on standby for these questions.
Do you want me to just read it to you?
No. Actually, yeah. Go on. Do
When you hit with a melee weapon attack, you can expend 1 spell slot to deal 2d8 extra radiant damage to the target.
I don't see why not. If someone calls us out in chat, we'll deal with it then.
No, it'll be too late.
Yes, it'd be far too late, chat.
Oh god, my dice fell. Unnatural 20 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
For 18 damage.
Okay.
Probably pretty much it.
That was Grace. You just stabbed Grace.
No, I was so much trouble.
Grace, you see the Spider Queen lurk violently towards you. You reach down to your side, dropping your crossbow, and you grab both scimitars that hang from your belt. You bring it up defensively, and in a swift slicing motion, she rears straight up in front of you, and you miss, but you would have prevented any attack had she gone to swing at you. At the same time, there's just a rush of wind as Sueris throws the corpse from him and just lunges straight at her, catching her right in the back. The light dims that was glowing around you for a moment as he plunges the halberd straight into her back. The light dims. She lets out a howl of pain, like there's a full-on roar that echoes throughout the cavern. And as you pull the halberd free from her, blood and mucus just gush out, and she continues her climb upwards.
Ooh.
It is your action now, Sueris.
Can I still reach her for an attack? Or has she gotten too far away?
She's gotten too far at this point, so you can make a ranged attack.
Well, I don't have any of those.
Get naked and fly up there.
I don't want to get naked. She'll kill me. She wants to die
Absolutely.
naked.
Reeves, apparently.
Can I just turn to Grace and be like, let's go, and start heading back toward Eludia?
Okay.
You're going to run.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
run, like
Okay.
sad
And
little bird boy I am.
Grace, you're running as well?
I'm running too. Yep.
Okay. Eludia.
She's a little bit emboldened now because she's away from this thing. And seeing the other two running towards her, she's going to attempt to make one last attack, just to be the last one to get in there. Plus, she's pissed off at this thing and she wants it to be hurt.
It's gonna get us all killed.
All right.
So again, she would go, like, if she went for one of the leg joints last time, she's going to do the same for one of the other legs. She wants to maim this thing. That is a 15 to hit.
Just hits.
Ooh.
So first of all, I'll do my flat damage, which is an 8 my d8, 11 damage. And then, so the next time it says I hit a creature, you have to make a strength saving throw. Because it's large, it gets advantage.
Okay.
And it has to beat a 12.
Eludia, you see Grace and Sueris as you watch the Spider Queen scratch across the floor and climb the wall of the cavern. You know two things. You know that a creature like that only runs when it's afraid. And when a creature like that is afraid, it usually means it's very close to dying. And you grip the bow in your hand and you take one of the arrows that you had cast Ensnaring Strike on. And as you knock it against your bow, you watch as Sueris and Grace rush towards you, and you step out from cover. You turn quickly, moving into the cavern, and the arrow flies free. And Grace and Sueris, you see her. You see Eludia just emerge from her cover, her hiding place, and take aim and fire. And it catches the Spider Queen straight into the side, right under her leg, one of her middle legs that connects to her body. And for a moment, you see her whole body just vibrate and go tense. And there's just a and the legs curl in, and she falls backwards from the wall.
Elodie will be watching. Her
And
many
she
eyes blink
crashes
out.
downwards. And as she falls, you see just a thread, an eruption of thread just erupt from her that clings to the wall. And as she falls, she pulls the walls down around her. All of you give me dex saving throws.
Oh,
I
shit.
told you.
See what you
I told you
did.
you were gonna kill us.
See what you did.
Quick now, quick!
We were already running. Does that count for anything?
15 for me.
That's a 16
17.
for me.
You turn as you see her pulling at the wall around you, and Grace, you're pushing Sueris towards Eludia, and you start to feel the ground beneath you cracking. And as you push Sueris, Grace, you feel your feet give out as the floor cracks below you, and you fall.
Shit.
And Sueris, as you turn back and you continue to run, you scramble, trip over yourself, and the floor is gone from beneath you. And Eludia, you don't have a chance to react as a thread of web just whips through the air and wraps itself around your neck, and you are dragged into the dark.
Fuck.
And the three of you fall, and we will leave it there.
Yay!
Guys, you're welcome, though. You're welcome.
Oh, I'm gonna
I hate
fight
you.
you. I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, just kill the spider. No biggie. No biggie.
After the spider had decimated you, and we were the ones who
I
made sure
killed
you
it.
didn't die.
I killed it, T. I killed it. That's the most important blow. It's the final one, I believe. And if we survive this encounter down in the depths, I will make you fucking know it, Grace.
We're gonna fight. We're
We're
gonna
gonna
fight,
fight
on that
as we
spider's corpse.
fall.
On that spider's corpse is going to be Gandalf, Balrog.
Just Sueris weeping into his hands.
Oh my goodness, Declan.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, everybody in chat. I had a brief look at the comments halfway through, and I'm, as always, I'm always kind of like a little bit like, oh, people watch this. Thank you so much for that support. It's phenomenal. Really, really means a lot to us, all of us here at D8 Dungeon. Special thanks to Fiona, who played the horrifying Eludia Cinderella. Amber as the really, really lovely Sueris. And Tendai for playing the enigmatic and equally terrifying Grace Stormfield. A special shout out to Louise, who does all the stuff in the background of this.
Thanks, Louise.
Yes.
Is our wonderful, wonderful producer for Saving Grace, A Shadow on Her Heart. This is a standalone adventure. This is a part of Romancing the Dungeon, the podcast, and it's a chance to flesh out the world and the people and the characters that we meet in it. So I hope people are enjoying this and the tie-in to Romancing the Dungeon itself. I'm Declan. I'm your dungeon master. I'm the creator of all of this, but I can't do any of this without these wonderful people that join me every couple of weeks.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
We said it when we were on our break. I want to make a special shout out to Declan and his fucking creepy song.
Oh.
Yeah.
That freaked all of us out.
So creepy.
And how brave it was to do that. I was very impressed and very fucking terrified.
Never doing it again. That was it. That was
No, I
Oh,
loved
so
it.
good.
No, I know
That
that's
was
fine, but I was
awesome.
never doing it
Every
again. I'm never
episode.
singing again, ever again. I'm never singing ever
Oh,
again.
I'm gonna hear it in my nightmares.
You
Oh,
are.
it's so spooky.
I can record it for you as a ringtone if you'd like.
Please.
Yeah.
We are back. We're actually, if you're lucky, we're there's a lot of stuff happening next week. If you're new to D8 Dungeon, we are a group of Irish tabletop role-playing game enthusiasts who just absolutely love telling stories. We love hanging out, and we love just having fun. And we're glad that people join us here on stream or listen to the podcast. And you can check out some of our other content every second Monday. Rise of the Forsaken, new episode coming out this Monday. Romancing the Dungeon, the podcast that Saving Grace is based on, is out every second Friday, and there's a brand new episode dropping next week.
Yay.
Saving Grace returns next Thursday for a special one-on-one episode as we discover what Six has been doing while these three have more or less tried to kill each other the entire time. And again, one last quick shout out to the Rook and the Raven. If you're looking to get yourself some super snazzy.
Let me just update my notes.
campaign
Eludia
planners. Yeah.
kills the spider.
Okay. Can you update your notes as well to reflect that Grace got a level? If that's okay, would you mind putting that in the notes?
Yeah. Just a nice big fat level.
If you are in need of a campaign planner or a player notebook, you like to keep track of everything in one neat and tidy place, and you like to customize to your heart's content, do check out their wonderful, wonderful stuff. I'm saving this one for a new campaign and a new story, so we'll fingers crossed. But if you use the code D8Dungeon at checkout, you'll save 15% on your order, and some of the sales will go to us as to help us in making more content. Somebody, I think Zan asked in chat, are we looking at affiliate? We've hit all the requirements for affiliate. We're just in the process of getting set up to do that now in the end. We want everything to be super official around here. So we're in the middle of getting that done. So keep an eye out for that. A couple of other things to flag. If you are interested, and if you're not on our Discord server, in the next couple of days, I am in the middle of organizing a very special game of werewolf, I guess, is one way of looking at it. I take the rules of werewolf and I made them into something else, and I'm combining it this time with D&D for a special murder mystery horror survival game set in the world of Romance in the Dungeon. And that's going to be canon as well. So the events of this story will change the world that the players are in and have an effect either on season 2 or season 3 of the podcast. It might even bleed into Saving Grace and in the next adventure that we're looking at for Grace and where her story is going. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, come join us out in the Discord server. All players, all people of all experience in that area, whether you're a D&D, you're totally new to it, whether you've never played a text-based game before, you've never done text role-playing, come and join us. You're more than welcome. Happy to have you.
There's so much fun.
Going to be a bit of a laugh. Terrifying, but a laugh. And at the end of July, we're organizing a weekend long, but not 24 hours, not 72 hours, we're taking breaks, but a weekend long charity stream called Clash of the Streams. Friday we'll see a day full of one shots, so we're looking for DMs, and we will be looking for players, but we're looking for DMs. If that sounds like you and you'd like to get involved, give us a shout. We'll put some information up on our socials directly after this or tomorrow. And on Saturday and Sunday, the Clash of the Streams begins, and we are looking for other podcasts and streamers to, I guess, put their money where their mouth is, put their charity, and do battle with other streams and other podcasts in a Smash Bros meets Battle Royale meets My Hero Academia entrance exam meets the Naruto Chunin exams meets the X Factor.
The X Factor.
All out brawl.
Yay.
So, if that sounds like, and it's all for charity. So if that sounds like something you'd be up for, again, we'll put some information up on our social media channels. You can follow us on everything at D8Dungeon. We're there on all those bits and pieces. I think we're good. I think that's everything. That's everybody good. Did we cover everything? Check all those boxes?
Yeah, I feel so great after killing that spider. Oh, I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Oh yeah. Oh, just killing.
Sleep with one eye open.
Or just stretching out my my arrow arms, my bow arms. I don't even know any of the terms.
your arrow arms. Yeah, arrow arms. That sounds right.
I'm so tired after all that killing. Oh my god. Oh.
And on that note, we're going to love you and leave you there. So, thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.